Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Irish Wedding Chat with the immensely talented, and that is no exaggeration, coach Karen Brown. She joined us yesterday for our Twitter chat, and my gosh, it was fast and it was furious. So, without further ado, I'm going to invite on Karen.
Hello, and thank you for having me today. I'm sorry, but I think the post is arriving, so the door's coming. This is crazy. Can you take them out, please?
Always the way, Karen, always the way.
It's just real life. I mean, it's just happens. Oh, if you haven't met them, they're so sweet. But as soon as the postman comes, they turn into Cujo and they just go totally nuts. But oh, they're so sweet.
He's going mental there. He's like, let me.
I want it. And the thing was, she actually got out one day and she didn't go for the postman. She actually stood in front of the postal van so he couldn't move. And then I got her to move, and then she followed him all the way around the estate. And when he got out of his van, she just followed him. She's absolutely nuts. But I've got 3 dogs, and we love them to pieces, but they are mental. Right house, really. Oh, and the right owner.
Excellent start to the conversation.
Totally disregarding Twitter, books, coaching.
Well, Kerry has joined us. Hello, Kerry. How are you?
It's just going to be mad today.
I have a funny feeling. Yeah. So, listen, Karen, did you enjoy the Twitter chat yesterday?
I did. It was manic. There was so much going on, and then my Wi-Fi died, as it does, right in the middle of it, and it was just like connection, no connection, no connection. So I was catching up, but it was just like 20 plus notifications, and and then trying to troll through things and make sure you respond to everybody and say hi to everybody. And yeah. But it was great fun, and I really do appreciate everybody turned up yesterday. I know people come from the chat, but it was just lovely seeing everybody there as well, and with Ailish and some people that I don't know and some people I do know. And it was fabulous. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, listen, Karen, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to introduce yourself. So I'm going to go off screen and you go and shout and scream about everything that you do. Okay?
We might be there a while. Okay, so hello, I'm Karen Brown. I'm a life coach. I qualified with the Positive Success Group a couple of years ago. I'm also an author and I have quite a few books out now. Because I do things like low content books, then they can be published quite quickly. So I think last count there was nearly 100 or over 100 books that are now published on Amazon. And I've got several published with Bookboon as well, so I have a publisher as well. So yeah, it's one of those things that I went to an event with the local enterprise office in Leitrim, and I think it was a lady called Susan Book, and she was talking about passive income, and I thought that sounds really good because you can create an income, make something once, and sell it over and over again, which is basically what you do with books. And it sounded really cool. And I had a load of different blog posts that I was writing about LinkedIn. And my first book was actually a compilation of all those blog posts. So that was how you can do it very, very quickly. And it was an ebook rather than a print book. Whereas now I focus more on print book and journals. And so you get things like my Christmas planner, which is there. I don't know if you can see that very well. Oh, the light's not great. 2020 Christmas planner. So I've got that one out at the moment. It takes you all the way up to Christmas, and my goals planner, and my bullet journal. This is one I use myself. And it just keeps me sane. I'm a big believer in journaling. I'm a big believer in mindfulness and meditation. And a lot of my happy habits happened when I was looking after my dad. So my mum passed away in 2014. I inherited my dad because my mum had passed, my sister had passed away before. And he eventually moved over to Ireland and he eventually moved in with us before he was, well, as his health deteriorated. And my happy habits, I found kept me sane because sometimes my dad, I loved him to pieces, but he could be a challenge. And there were some days where, you were just up to your armpits in poop. And there's just no nice way of getting around it because it was a poopy time. And the mindfulness, the meditation, the journaling, they just kept me sane. And the kindness, all those different habits that I talk about in my Happy Habits book, my positivity planner, they kept me going. And it's 2 years since he passed now. And I've been able to do an awful lot more. I've been able to do journaling, do write journals. And now I teach people how to do it themselves because it's all about empowering people to create a second income. So one thing I'm doing on my website at the moment is I'm creating book templates that you can edit yourself and publish yourself under your own name. And that's what the wedding planner was all about. So when I was asked to do this and I was thinking, what could I do as a free gift? It's like wedding. Well, you're about journaling, planning, and notebooks. What would your wedding planner? So that's what I did. And I've been sort of sitting down and scribbling and writing down all the different things that you need for a wedding. And I was sort of going through my head of my own wedding. And I've been married twice, so I have a bit of practice. And it's all the different things that you need to be aware of, but it's the timeline. And I was talking about yesterday. My second marriage is to my current husband. We've been married for 20 years now. But we got married around the time of 9/11, and we were due to fly out to Florida that week. So 9/11 happened on a Monday. We were supposed to fly out on the Saturday, and on the Friday we were told all the flights are still cancelled. So if you can remember the time, all flights were grounded coming in and out of America because of the threats. So my best man, our bridesmaids, they were due to travel on the Tuesday. They were immediately cancelled. My mum and my sister were travelling out the following Monday, so they went on holiday to Florida. So when we got the phone call on the Friday, it was about lunchtime, and I was in bits because we kind of knew it was happening, but we're still hopeful that it wouldn't. And my boss just said, "Look, just go." So we went to a travel agent, and they said, "Look, these are all that's available. Basically, anything that's not America." So we went to Mexico, and we had our honeymoon before our wedding, as you do.
As you do.
And then we came back, and we just sat down, and we wanted to get married in 2001 because we're both science fiction, we're both Star Trek and all that sort of stuff. So we just looked at the dates, and we found a venue.
2001 Space Odyssey, is it?
Yeah.
Ah! Yeah, I'm a bit of a sci-fi freak. I'm going to, well, that means something.
Yeah, has to be 2001. So because that's actually, we were that's the millennium, because that's the one. So we actually ended up getting married on the 24th of November. So if you can think back, that's about 8-10 weeks.
Yeah.
So October, November, 3 weeks in November, 4 weeks in October, and then a week when we got back. So about 8 weeks. So we did a wedding from scratch in 8 weeks, and the only things that we had were the wedding rings and the clothes. But the best bit was, because we were so late, there was so little choice. When it came to wedding invitations, when we invited the guy around, he said basically it's going to take several months, and it's like, no, the wedding's in 6 weeks. So we went to WH Smith's and we bought them off the rack, and we just wrote them out and sent them out to everybody. The venue, they just started to do weddings, so they hadn't started it. We were one of the first that they did, and it was a local council building that hadn't been really used for anything but for conferences. And they were going to start to do weddings. So they had this great big venue that nobody was using. It was an old country house in the middle of Swindon. It was fantastic. And And it was things like a friend of mine knew a florist, so she said, yes, we can help you out. We found somebody who could do the cakes. Things like we did crackers because it was coming near Christmas, so we bought cracker packs, and we sat there one evening and we just did 150 crackers. We put different things in there. So somebody had a Thornton's Christmas cake truffle, and the children's had the Love Heart sweets.
Oh, I remember them. They've
Yeah,
made a comeback, haven't they? I used to
they have,
love
but they were the
them.
little packets, and they
Yeah,
were just big enough that you could put in there.
yeah.
So it was also those sort of little details. Hi, Deirdre.
Hey.
All those sort of details that we were able to do, and we just made decisions very quickly
Yeah,
and just went with what we had. But in the end, we had a place for children because I wanted children at the event. Hi, Kerry. Yeah, thanks. You just do what you have with what you've got, and we had lots of children coming to the event because my brother-in-law, he had three children, and so we were of the age where our peers had children, and it seemed crazy to me not to include them. So we had a room set aside with videos and balloons and stuff like that that they could play quite comfortably, and somebody could keep an eye on them while the parents could relax. And I never get this whole thing about not having children at weddings because they made
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's kind of a family affair, isn't it? A wedding,
Yeah,
like, it really
yeah,
is a family affair. But there are some times where you might have a small, intimate wedding, maybe,
yeah.
where it's better not to have the kids or to have
Mm.
the kids looked after, But
Yeah,
wow,
I think
yeah,
because for us, because people were travelling from all around the country, and we had people coming from Ireland, people from Devon, people from St Albans, London area, then it would have caused an awful lot of problems for people trying to find babysitters
yeah,
because some people were travelling 2 hours to get there, then the venue, then 2 hours to get back. So and for us, it actually made the wedding because they were so much fun and they were so much part of it.
yeah.
And there's one of the in-laws basically said it was the best wedding she'd actually been to because of all the little attentions to details, all the different fun bits that we put in there.
And you
And
only had
because
8 weeks
children,
to do it.
we only had but because you only had 8 weeks, you can't faff around.
No,
You
no,
have to make decisions. You just have to get on with it.
you do, you do.
But it was much better than my first one.
Brilliant, brilliant. I thought it was brilliant the way you shared all that information with us yesterday because, like, there's a lot of couples out there that are kind of panicking, if you will, or they need reassurance. And with everything just changed there just recently over the last couple of days, we had, people planning for a larger group. Now they're having to reduce again,
Yeah,
if they're going to go ahead. And I think it makes their lives quite difficult and stressful. So I thought it was really, really nice that you shared your experience from 9/11. Like, I thought that was really sort of generous of you. And you mentioned there earlier about the wedding planner, which I thought was it's an amazing prize. Like, I think that's a fantastic prize. I was like, I want one, I want to win. I was like, I want to win. But it's because you've been through the whole process. Like, you have a really good idea twice. You have a really good idea of, what people will need in a wedding planner. But for us guys, the suppliers, the people who are in the events and wedding industry, I think that is an absolutely fantastic giveaway that you've given us, and
okay.
there's going to be one lucky winner.
Yeah. Well, what I've done on my website is I've actually got the basic planner and then I've got some backgrounds in there. So there's actually 8 different versions. So
Excellent.
one's purely plain.
Yeah.
But if you want a different version, then you have the option of choosing it. And whoever the winner is, the coupon that I'm providing you with gives you 10 downloads. So
Wow.
you can choose all 8 of them. And you can also choose a notebook if you want to create a notebook that goes with them.
Wow.
And then you
Gosh,
can choose something else.
I think that's one of the biggest prizes we've had so far. Like,
You haven't seen how much I charge.
but we have a special offer for the group anyway
You,
afterwards, don't we? You
yeah,
know,
we do. Yeah,
so
because
like that's
yeah,
yeah,
we can't
Sarah, it
we
is
can only give one
amazing.
away, but we can help everybody, and that's
Yeah,
what it's all about. You know,
yeah,
everybody is going through a really crappy time at the moment, and if
they
we can
are.
support each other, then
Yeah,
we can all get through.
yeah, and I think
I'm
that's sorry, Karen, I interrupted you there. Go on.
I'm just going to say I'm a big believer in kindness, and you know one of the reasons I love Samantha Kelly in the Women's Inspire Network, is because that's what her business is built on
Yeah,
as well. Because she's so kind and she so gives so much time to everybody, and that's what she's about. And I like to think my business has a similar foundation, because this whole version of my business came about with helping a friend, and she helped me realize actually there are other people out there who need this kind of help getting the book out there,
yeah,
and stuff that I take for granted, other people
yeah,
can't do. So it's
yeah,
been a fantastic ride the last few months. And if you think I've been trying to do business for what 8 years, and this is the first time I've actually probably been in profit. And
wow,
I've had so many excuses because I had to look after dad for several years, and
yeah,
then I had my son who was quite young, and I had all these excuses. And now it's like with my son being grown up and with my dad passing away all these different things that have happened, it's like the way is now clear, and I've got no excuses. And I've got Brina Stackpole in my corner as my business coach, and you know, she's lovely. She doesn't half kick your backside if you don't do stuff. You know, she's so nice, but she's got this little foot, and she just loves to use it and kick you up the bum to get you going.
I think sometimes it's really important to have, if you like, somebody there that you're accountable to, that that will actually praise you when you need to be praised, but also give you that kick, that
Yeah,
push when you need to. Deirdre and Sarah do that for me.
yeah. Well, she has this accountability academy, and that's all it is Monday you say what your goals are, Friday
Yeah,
you say what you're doing,
yeah,
and in between you actually have to do what you say. And it's surprising how much it focuses you.
yeah.
And one of the questions she has on her thing every week is, what are your excuses? And I actually got to the point where I'd run out of them. And it was like, what do I do now? I've got no excuses. I've actually got to get on with things. But this is where she's so good as a coach,
Yeah.
because she lets you realize that yourself, and see that this is actually, there are no excuses. You are the person standing in your own way.
That's right, yeah. And I was just thinking, like, when you were caring for your father, I know because I cared for my late partner
Yeah,
before he passed.
I'm
And
so
I know,
sorry.
yeah, it's many years ago, but I can empathize with you because I don't know what the word to use is, but it can really you can really end up wrapped up in it. And it can
Yeah,
take a while to pull back those layers. And the reason I'm sort of saying that is because you are also a life coach.
yeah,
And and I'm sure like that kind of really helped you along the way to keep things in perspective for yourself, because I do know that it was very difficult for you when you lost your father.
yeah. I think the thing with the coaching was that once I realized what my values were, I could actually start living to them. And my biggest value is family. And once I realized that, then looking after dad was just a no-brainer.
Yeah,
There was no way I would let him go into a nursing home or a residential home or anything like that. It just wasn't going on. So we converted our downstairs bedroom into almost like a hospital room.
wow,
And the public health nurses were great because in my past, I was a registered nurse. I worked as a nurse in the UK. And I was able to say, this is what I need. I need a pressure relieving mattress. I need a hospital bed. I need a commode. I need a wheelchair. And they just sorted everything out for me.
yeah,
And we had a proper hospital bed that profiled and would lift him up and go down. And we had a really good air mattress, that cost quite a lot of money, that he never had a pressure sore the whole time I was looking after him.
mm,
And when I was doing my nursing, that was one of the things that you would look for good quality nursing care. And the fact that we could take him out in his wheelchair, the fact that he was with his family right up until the end. The only reason he sort of passed away in hospital was, he needed more oxygen than the generator that we had could do. He had to have it properly sent through, so we just couldn't do that at home. But I know he was comfortable, and we were there at the end, and we did the best that we could do for him. And that's all you can do. You can only do your best, but you have to recognize that what that is, and live up to it, because you don't want to live with regrets, especially with something like that.
No, and I think that's one of the most hardest things to actually come out of and come round to, which is why I think you're amazing, because you've had lots of trials and errors, trials and tribulations like we all have, and yet you've still come out the other end of it, and you are now doing something that you love and that you're actually helping other people with. So tell me, is there anything that actually, no, I was going to say to you now.
It's just going to be like that, isn't it?
Well, we're already over time anyway, so let's, we won't go there. I'm thinking,
I've lost you now.
Yeah, you did again. Like, I got really emotional before we came online, because Karen has been incredibly supportive to me as a person, and also to the chat and to the girls as well. So we all appreciate it, actually. But what I wanted to talk to you about was your free challenge. Just quickly to go over it very fast, because we also want to mention who the winner is.
Absolutely.
But, your free challenge, because I didn't get to complete the free challenge, but I want to maybe have another go at it. But it's really, really good for anybody who wants to publish a book. Yeah. So please tell us a little bit more about your free challenge.
Okay. So every month, I started this, I think, in June, July, and I did it again. But I found that if I do it once a month, then it's a 5-day challenge. So Monday to Friday. On the Monday, we look at the theory around publishing. So you get to realize what it is you want to publish. So what your book is, we clarify what it is, think about the keywords, and get an idea of what it is you're going to do. Day 2 is all about the book cover. And what we do is we go into Canva, and I'll go and create a book cover live, and I'll show you how to create a template. Hi, Evelyn. And I'll show you how to create a template just using Canva. And you can actually use those. And I've done them with some of my cheaper books, where I've just created the book cover in Canva, downloaded a PDF. I have a PDF there, and that's it. That's the book cover done. On Wednesday, we use some of my templates to create a book, and I build a book live in about an hour. And then Thursday, we talk about proofreading and editing your book and why it's so important. And then Friday, I'll publish the book live. So between Monday and Friday, I'll create a book and the book cover, and then on Friday, I'll publish it. So you can see that it's possible. And we've had 2 people.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, you have 2 people now.
We're just working with 2 people. There's one person on Monday, and it was great. We just had the most amazing time, and we just overran completely, because that's the thing. I'm really bad at timekeeping, but we had a fantastic time. We just had so much information going backwards and forwards. And she was telling me today that she actually worked on a book till 3 o'clock last night.
Wow.
And she got it done. She's now got to sort the book cover out, but she is now ready to publish her first book. Yes, it's not going to be an opus of 10,000 words, but it's still a book, and it's still her book, and it's coming from her heart. And it's one of those things, when you have your own book that you've worked on, doesn't matter how long you've worked on it, when you receive it in your own hands, you will be absolutely in pieces. I've seen some people opening the book box from Amazon, and it's almost like they're giving birth. It's that kind of thing. Yeah, it is almost that. It's so emotional, because they know how much they dreamt of having a book, and a lot of people have a book as their dream. My dream was to run a marathon. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but
You never say never, Karen. Never say never.
My joy. Well, I need to lose an awful lot of weight and get fit to do that, and I might do it for my 60th, just because I'm that sort of late bloom. I just do everything late compared to everybody else.
Why
But
not?
you
Yeah.
see so many people on the internet where they started later in life, and it doesn't seem to matter.
No, I know.
So
It's
age
all
is
a
just a
state of
number.
mind, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, but the thing about having your own book there's an immense feeling, and then it's so emotional seeing somebody with their own book, and even when they get the book cover, it's just like excitement. You know, they can send a message on Facebook, and you can still feel their energy coming back to you.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
this is my book cover. It's getting close. Oh my god, I'm going to publish a book. You know, it's the reality of it. And then when it lands on your doorstep, and it's not the proof copy, it's the real copy. And this is what you're sending out, and people are feeding back to you that this is great. And then that just sort of makes it so much worthwhile. And then when you get your first 5-star review, and somebody actually says this is good, then it's just amazing. And this is what I love for my clients. I love that they have that connection with their books, that they have the passion, and then they get this emotional connection with their books, and they get to share something of themselves that helps other people. And I tend to work with people whose job is to help other people. I don't work with novelists, I don't do memoirs, I'm not a proofreader, I'm not an editor, but I do work with people who have something that will help other people. So with my
Yeah.
journals and my planners, the goal is to help people in some other way. So if
Yeah.
it's a journal, it's helping you to download and just get the crap out of your head so that you can just let it go.
Yeah. It's like
With
what?
a
Yeah. Sorry.
with gratitude journals, it's the same thing. Once you live a life of gratitude, things change. Your
Oh yeah.
perspective changes. You don't put rose-colored glasses on, but you do see things differently because you see the gifts that you've been given, and you start to appreciate every little thing.
This is true.
And gratitude is just amazing. This is why I've done so many gratitude journals. I actually love creating them. So when I create it for somebody else, it's just like, well, you're getting to share this with the rest of the world, but you're doing it in your way. I'm just
Yeah.
helping to sort of do that because
Yeah.
I know how I can create one quickly.
Yeah, I just want to make the sort of say what Deirdre said there, and that's well, they say, well, I have to read this again now. I'm going to put it back up on screen. Oh, hang on. She's got up another comment there. What do design historical or sci-fi? Okay, what about? What about? Sorry, I don't know, Deirdre. You'll have to talk to Karen. Well, they do say write about your experience, and older folks have a lot to write about. This is very true.
Yeah.
This is very true. Now, Karen, we have gone straight over time. Am I surprised?
No.
Do
When you're having
you?
fun, you don't notice the time.
Yeah. Excuse me. Now, listen, should we mention who the winner is? Or did you pick a winner?
We did, and we did pick a winner, and it was very scientific. And we went with Ashley Events from yesterday.
Oh, lovely. Mercy.
Is that
Oh,
Mercy? Oh,
Mercy.
fantastic!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if what I'll do is I'll send her a PM in
Yeah.
Twitter with the
Yeah.
code
Yeah.
and the instructions on how to download everything. And if she
Yeah.
wants to contact me, then we can go with it. Oh, God, we've got an
Excellent.
escaped dog. Do we have? It's a bit like, oh God, my phone's going off. I have that set up for homeschooling for my son. So every hour that we sort of come back, otherwise the day just goes away with us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But with for everybody else, because it's a bit like the Late Late Show for everybody in the room,
Yeah.
we do have a special offer that there is a voucher I've created that gives everybody else 50% off. So if you
Yes.
want to buy the wedding planner, you can do. It will give you lots of other things. So if you just do the coupon code IrishWeddingChat, that will give you 50% off whatever you buy. Okay.
Excellent.
I've
Yeah.
set it up for 100 vouchers. So after 100 uses, it will go. So if somebody uses it 10 times, then there's 90 left. Okay?
Wow.
So you can use as many as you want, but there is a limit. But
Wow.
it gives you 50% off.
That's really generous of you. That is really generous of you. Thank you so much, Karen. Like,
You're
that's
welcome, but you haven't seen
fantastic.
how much they cost yet. I don't charge a huge amount for my templates because I want them to get out there and I want to help as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So I think you'll find that the wedding planner is actually only €19. So you're going to get it for less than 10 quid.
Wow.
And you can then publish your own book. And if you wanted to publish it, it's a 6x9, a 6x8 inch book, which is this size. Okay, I don't know, help that. So it's going to be that size, the book. And when you publish it, you can actually brand it to your own name.
Oh,
So
lovely.
you can then order all the copies off Amazon, and it'll cost you about €3 for each book. And
Wow.
then you can sell them if you want to, but they're branded, or you can give them to your clients.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably find with your clients that they'd appreciate the writing down of paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
3 days, I'm doing on the 21st of September, Kerry. I'll be putting it up on my Facebook that's work because I'm going on holiday to Donegal beginning of September, and then 21st is the Monday the following week. I'll be rested. I'll be back to normal, and then hopefully I'll be starting working with a few more people. So I've
Excellent.
kind of changed the way I'm
Yeah.
working with people. Because normally I would just charge people for the book that they're doing, and then I do the creative bit, and then it's their job to sell it. But what I'm finding is that they need that bit more support to actually do the selling as well.
Yeah.
So I've introduced a new program where you actually get 4 coaching sessions. You get access to my vault of different stuff on there. Yes, okay. I'll send you an email. I'll have to change everything anyway. So I've got a new program that's going to be starting from September where it's a lot more intensive, but what our goal is to get your book done by November so you can sell it for the Christmas market, because that's when most people buy their books,
Yeah.
because they buy them for Christmas presents. So
Excellent.
whether
Well,
you, sorry, go on.
well, I was just going to say, like, with you kept on saying like you haven't seen the price yet, you haven't seen the price yet, and then when you started talking about the price, I was like, wow, well, actually, you've made this available and for everybody to to be able to afford to be able to do
Come
it,
here.
like
Oh, sorry. I just have
Oh,
a little pest who's just been saying, "Cuddle me, cuddle me." So this is Dusty. She was actually Dad's dog,
oh,
and we got to keep her. So she's in her forever home. So she's been quite lucky because she was my mum's dog before, and then she became my dad's dog, and then she's our dog. So she's had that continuity, but she was very unsettled for a wee while because
yeah,
she was expecting
of
that to come back, and then it didn't. But she's
course.
kind of used to us now.
Of course. So anyway, Karen. Okay, so we're over time. I'm going to put all your details into the comments
Thank you.
after our chat. And my gosh, thank you so much again, Karen. You've been
Oh, you're
fantastic.
welcome.
And everyone who's out there who wants to publish a book or a journal or whatever,
Yeah.
take Karen's deal.
And
Irish
if
Wedding
you want
Chat.
to do it before November, you've got a couple of months to do it in, but we need to kick ass basically.
Yeah,
It's doable, but you have to do the work. So what I tend to do is the structure bit. You send me the bits, and I create structure for it, and that saves you 90% of the time. So
excellent.
it is actually doable to get a book out for November and have it sold for sale for the December market.
Excellent. Wow.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. And thank you,
You're
everyone,
welcome.
for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's Irish Wedding Chat.
Thank you.
Thanks,
It's
everybody, for
been bad.
joining us. Bye, all.
Okay. See you. Bye. Thank you.